It was already hard enough fighting this winter in Ukraine, even before last night's snowstorm, the worst for several years. Ukrainian soldiers tried to film the conditions in which they have to operate. Some 3,000 vehicles got stuck on the roads needing rescue, and in the worst-hit area of southern Ukraine, the authorities advised people to stay at home. As the emergency services struggled to dig the vehicles out, at least 8 people were diagnosed with hypothermia in the Odessa region. A dozen motorways were closed. 2 million people remain without power for much of the day. Russian-controlled Crimea was also affected. Emergency service workers evacuated residents from the worst-hit areas and were also struggling to restore power today. Sirens sounded in Kyiv in the early hours of Saturday morning as Russia launched the largest drone attack of the war. 75 Iranian-made Shahid drones, all but one of which was shot down by Ukrainian air defenses. The Ukrainian authorities fear it was the start of a Russian winter campaign to attack energy infrastructure. The Russians have been relentlessly shelling the frontline town of Kherson from positions just across the river Dnipro, and also launching airstrikes.
There are about 30,000 people now in a city that is daily bombed with every kind of weapon you can imagine, because no air defense works here because the Russians are so close. So it's completely up to them. And now we have the weather has kicked in. It's minus something. The snow. We've had 2 days of blistering rain and wind. And the heating is not very effective. The electricity is on and off. It's probably one of the worst places after Syria that I've been in.
For the Ukrainian soldiers, it's a hard, cold slog. Their Western backers are distracted by Gaza and have failed to provide enough ammunition, let alone air power, while Russia has ramped up military production.
Their defense industry is on a war footing. They are able to resupply their forces with ammunition and new capabilities. They have got significant amount of ammunition from North Korea, and there is a willingness to sacrifice people in this operation.
An explosion yesterday at a Russian tank factory suggests Ukraine is trying to sabotage Russian military production, even as it patches up its own old, damaged tanks to send them back into battle.